Hello, my name is Dr. AB. I welcome you to the fourth lesson of this video course on this book, Money and Your Well-Being. In this video, I want to talk about why happiness, human respect, and self-esteem should be free, compulsory, and unconditional. In other words, we want to look at the benefits of happiness and why it should be made to be free, to be unconditional, and compulsory. All right. The first benefit of happiness is that it has been linked to human health and longevity. All right. So happiness can improve your mental and emotional well-being, so that even when you are genetically or biologically prone to having a mental disease, all right, there are people who have a mental illness or mental disease because they have a family history, but they need an environment, okay, to support its manifestation. Right. So what it means is that the likelihood of a person who is biologically prone or genetically prone to having a mental illness, developing this mental illness, is high in the presence of negative mental states, like unhappiness, like psychological stress, compared to having a positive mental state or a pleasant mental and emotional state like happiness. Okay, so happiness can shift you far and far away from the environment and the triggering factors that can provoke mental illness and mental disease, especially in people who are genetically and biologically prone. Even in the management of some mental diseases, we adopt what we call psychotherapy, whereby the main goal is to create positive mental states, positive and pleasant mental and emotional states in a person to assist in the recovery. As we are doing drug treatments or giving medications, we support that with the psychological psychotherapy or psychological therapy. It means that the happier you are, the less likely it is for you, okay, to develop mental illness and mental disease. Okay, because the stressful factors or the triggering factors, right, are being reduced in this positive mental state or pleasant mental or emotional state or happiness. Okay. Now, it is not only your mental and emotional well-being or mental emotional disease or illness that can be prevented or helped managed with your positive mental state or happiness. Physical health. Your physical health has been linked to happiness. So there have been improved physical health observed in happy people because of improved immunity, for instance, and also because of what we call the mind-body connection, okay, where your mental state, your psychological state affect your physiology or the functions. So, for instance, if you come to a hospital and check your blood pressure and it's high, okay, there's something we call white coat hypertension. So it depending on the level. If it's not too high, we could give you the benefit of the doubt that probably when you check at home, it could be lower. So for some such people, we can do monitoring. And people have checked in a more relaxed atmosphere, and then their blood pressure was normal. In such few instances, not in all cases, okay? So then, your mental state is affecting physiology, your heart, and your blood vessels to produce high blood pressure. Okay, that is why we say there's a mind-body connection. So it is for the same reason why if you are happy, you have a positive mental state, an emotional state, okay, it's supposed to prevent this negative physical health consequences or promote positive health, physical health, all right? And that can be linked, therefore, to your overall longevity. Okay, so you have to be happy because it promotes your mental well-being, prevents mental diseases, mental illness, and at the same time also can help prevent some physical health diseases that can be acquired through the stress pathway. This is the reason why if I'm a doctor and I want people to be healthy, all right, and to live long, one of the things I have to wish for them is happiness and having a positive mental state. This is why if you're a human being and you want people to live healthy and live long, one of the things you should wish for them is happiness and having a positive mental state and feeling good within and feeling good about themselves and nothing disturbing your mind. That is why I am suggesting that it should be free, unconditional, and compulsory because it can border on human health and longevity. Okay? Another benefit of happiness, why it should be free, unconditional, and compulsory, is that happiness has been linked to increased creativity, innovation, and productivity. It makes sense. The mind is clearer to think, and the human being is more relaxed to function in its best state, in a happier state. Okay? You cannot have psychological stress, okay, or negative thoughts dwelling together with creative thinking. It's a very difficult situation to have your creativity and innovation manifesting in the midst of mental disturbance, okay, or having disturbing thoughts, okay. So you need your mind to be clear, a positive mental state, a positive, a pleasant emotional state to ensure that you're more creative, more innovative, and more productive. And we want creative, innovative, and productive human beings in society, okay, so that we can have a more improved society. So we should wish that everybody is happy, all right? The third reason why happiness should be free, unconditional, and compulsory is that it helps promote good among human beings and reduces evil and sin among human beings. Now, there are people who engage in evil and sin. If you ask them what they are looking for, they tell you that they are looking for happiness. Yes. People can drink alcohol, get so drunk, okay? And this alcohol can give them a liver disease, okay? So this is evil somebody is doing to himself or herself. If you ask them why you are doing that to yourself, the person tells you that I'm looking for happiness. You can find somebody who is taking hard substances, drugs, cocaine, and some other hard substances. And this makes a person go do armed robbery attack or do something negatively to hurt a human being. You ask them what they're looking for, they tell you that they're looking for happiness. You can have somebody who goes to rape a person or a child or whatever, a minor. The person tells you, I am looking for happiness. Okay, so the things that sometimes we call sin, okay, in the religious balance, is the search of happiness gone wrong. People looking for happiness in the wrong way. But imagine that we are all happy, freely happy, okay? And that is what I'm going to tell you, show you how to do in the next video, how you can obtain free happiness. Imagine that we have this free happiness. Happy people don't look for happiness at all costs, including using illegitimate, evil, and sinful ways. Okay? So, if you want to promote good among humanity, since the pursuit of happiness is the greatest human need, then people can find all kinds of means and engage in all kinds of corrupt activities. The argument is that I'm looking for happiness. Okay? All these things can be reduced, minimized, if we find free happiness, because happy people do not look for happiness. Right? So imagine that we are all happy. You're happy, I am happy. And we found free ways of finding happiness. We don't need to use money to buy happiness. We don't need to use achievements to buy happiness. There's no condition attached to being happy. Okay? I am going to feel safe to live among human beings because nobody is going to point a gun at my head and tell me that, look, you are too happy. You have too much. Give them to me or give me some. Let me be happy too. I'll be left alone. because that person is also happy and we are all happy. We can have a more, or we can have a happier community, a happier nation, a happier people. We want everybody to be happy. And evil can reduce when happiness is free and people don't have to fight for it. Okay, as a way of looking out for themselves, using all kinds of means to look for happiness. Okay? Then the fourth reason why happiness should be free is that the benefits that unhappiness brings, if there are any benefits that unhappiness brings, happiness can bring you those benefits and more. I believe that unhappiness brings virtually no benefits. Okay? But if somebody wants to argue that we have to be unhappy sometimes, we have to feel bad about ourselves, feel negative within, okay, have disturbing thoughts sometimes, and it comes with some benefit, I challenge that person by saying that happiness can do the same, can give you such benefits and more. Feeling good within, feeling good about yourself, nothing disturbing your mind can also give you positive results. If there's any positive result that unhappiness brings us, I think that I'll suggest happiness, okay, as a better option of looking for those positive results. Okay, so it brings you no benefit to not to be happy. That is why you have to be happy. Okay, but of all these things that I've said, of all the reasons that I've given for why you should be happy, my most important reason is that, as a doctor, is that it borders on your health and longevity. Because happier people can have more positive mental well-being and emotional well-being, as well as physical well-being, and might live longer. Okay, and that is why it should be free, it should be unconditional, and happiness should be compulsory. Okay, for the same reason, human respect should be free. Okay, now the reason human respect should be free is because the human being is created in the image of God, and that is the highest human image anybody can have. And the greatest human achievement is being human. Why? Because it takes a human being to become the richest person in the world. It takes a human being to become the richest musician in the world. It takes the human being to become a president, to become a doctor, a lawyer, or to become a politician, or a chief, or a king, or whatever. It takes a human being to become a professor, or whatever you call it. So being human is the greatest achievement of the human being. Just being human. Okay? That is where it starts from. And all because the human being is created in the image of God. So just for human respect, being human is enough. For the same reason, you have to reject reasons other than being human as a basis for your respect, for people respecting you. Okay? Now, you have to tell yourself that, look, you are not interested in any other way or any other reason as a basis for people respecting you apart from being human. Okay, and that is what I suggest to be the basis for human respect. That all human beings belong to the same species and we are all created in God's image and we are all God's loving creation as human beings. It is enough reason for human respect. Okay, and it is enough reason for a good self-esteem. Okay, because we have the highest human image possible, which is that we are created in the image of God. So in my next video, I'm going to talk about how you can obtain happiness free. Okay, so in this video, I've talked about the reason why happiness should be free, compulsory, and unconditional. Okay, that's the reason, that is what we discussed in this video, the benefits of happiness and why it should be free, unconditional, and compulsory. In my next video, I'm going to talk about how you can obtain this free happiness.